The Bold and the Beautiful fashion wars kill 3 couples. The Bold and the Beautiful is getting back to basics in 2026. The soap's legendary fashion wars will be back with a bang. Forrester Creations will be facing off against Dollar Bill and Katie's new company, and the runway showdowns are going to be epic. According to Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, the warring families will make it impossible for a few popular couples to stay together in the new year, who will break up in 2026. Keep reading to find out. Hope and Liam. Hope Logan, Annika Noel, and Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, just tied the no last month on The Bold and the Beautiful. But the honeymoon phase could be very short-lived. Hope is working feverishly at Forrester Creations, and Liam is helping the Spencers establish their new company. Logan isn't even off the ground, and the battle lines have been drawn on the soap. How long can the newlyweds really work at warring companies before things get awkward? It's not like they can discuss their work days at the dinner table. Plus, word on the internet is that Liam is going to give his wife an ultimatum and she's not going to like it. Electra and Will. Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, and Will Spencer Jr.'s Crew Morrow relationship has already survived stalker Remy Price and killer Luna Nozoa, Lisa Yamada. But how will Electra feel when her boyfriend's stepmom is putting her family out of business? The couple spends a lot of time at Forrester Creations together. Is Will going to really keep going to the office after they fired his mom? That seems like a conflict of interest. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers also hint that Will is going to be busy hanging out with his new roomie Dylan, and that's only going to create more strain on his romance. Carter and Daphne. Right now on The Bold and the Beautiful, Daphne Rose, Linnea Grace, is trying to leave La La Land and go home to Paris. Spoilers say that Carter Walton will do everything in his power to stop her, including getting down on one knee and proposing to her. Right now, Daphne and Carter are on the same page, but they could have a difference of opinions down the line. At the end of the day, Daphne isn't a Forrester. She may decide she doesn't want to support FC anymore, and that could be a problem. If she does some perfume work for Beatty, Carter might blow his top. In the high-stakes world of Los Angeles fashion, the runways aren't just for showing off silk and satin. They're for blood, betrayal, and the total destruction of the heart. If you tuned in today expecting a typical day at Forrester Creations, you were likely left reeling as The Bold and the Beautiful just delivered one of the most devastating blowouts in soap opera history. The long-teased fashion wars between the legacy powerhouse Forrester Creations and Katie Logan's insurgent new house, Logan, haven't just sparked corporate sabotage. They've acted as a wrecking ball for the show's most beloved romances. Today's episodes signaled the official killing off of 3 major couples, leaving fans in a state of absolute mourning. Here is the breakdown of the very sad news that has changed the landscape of the show forever. 1. The death of Bridge, Brooke and Ridge's final fall. For decades, Brooke Logan and Ridge Forrester have been the North Star of the show, destiny personified. But even destiny has an expiration date when family loyalty is pushed to the brink. As Katie Logan officially launched her rival fashion house, the battle lines were drawn. Brooke, desperate to protect the Forrester legacy, chose to stay by Ridge's side, but her methods turned dark. When Ridge discovered that Brooke had been secretly undermining Katie's funding, effectively trying to bankrupt her own sister, the destiny shattered. Ridge, who has spent years trying to be a better man, couldn't stomach Brooke's cutthroat tactics against her own flesh and blood. In a tear-soaked confrontation in the CEO office, Ridge told Brooke that he no longer recognized the woman he loved. The verdict: Ridge has officially moved out. For the first time in years, the bridge is not just cracked, it has collapsed under the weight of the Logan versus Forrester war. 2. Shaycon no more, Sheila's rage and Deacon's betrayal. While the fashion houses fought for market share, a much more dangerous war was brewing at Aiel Giardino. The unlikely, fan-favorite pairing of Deacon Sharp and Sheila Carter met a violent and tragic end today. The fashion wars brought Taylor Hayes back into the orbit of the elite, and as she sought therapy sessions with Deacon, the sparks were undeniable. Today, the secret came out. Sheila, ever the predator, eavesdropped on a private moment where Deacon admitted he was growing fond of Taylor, not just as a friend, but as a soulmate. The fallout was instantaneous. Sheila didn't just break up with Deacon. She declared war on everyone he loves. The tragedy, Deacon, realizing he could never truly rehabilitate a monster, ended their marriage on the spot. But as Sheila vanished into the shadows with a look of pure vengeance, fans know that this death of a couple might lead to the literal death of a character. 3. The young and the heartbroken, Will and Elektra. Perhaps the saddest casualty of the fashion wars is the next generation. Will Spencer and Elektra Forrester represented the hope of a peaceful future between the two families. Instead, they became the ultimate pawns. With Bill Spencer fully funding Katie's Logan line to Spite Ridge, the pressure on Will to choose a side became unbearable. Today, Elektra, caught between her loyalty to the Forrester name and her love for Spencer, made the heartbreaking choice to walk away. In a scene that felt like a modern-day Romeo and Juliet, the two realized that as long as their parents are at each other's throats, there is no room for their love to breathe. The end. The ship has officially sunk. Will is heading deeper into the Spencer corporate machine, and Elektra is left to pick up the pieces of a fractured Forrester dynasty. Why these deaths matter. The Bold and the Beautiful has always been about the intersection of business and pleasure. However, the 2026 fashion wars feel different. By dismantling these three pillars, the veteran icons Bridge, the dark outsiders Shakon, and the future Will and Elektra, the writers have hit the reset button in a way that feels permanent. The fashion world is often called cutthroat, but today it took on a literal meaning. The Logan name is back, but at what cost? In the high-stakes world of Los Angeles fashion, the runways aren't just for showing off silk and satin. They're for blood, betrayal, and the total destruction of the heart. If you tuned in today expecting a typical day at Forrester Creations, you were likely left reeling as the Bold and the Beautiful just delivered one of the most devastating blowouts in soap opera history. The long-teased fashion wars between the legacy powerhouse Forrester Creations and Katie Logan's insurgent new house, Logan, haven't just sparked corporate sabotage. They've acted as a wrecking ball for the show's most beloved romances. Today's episodes signaled the official killing off of three major couples, leaving fans in a state of absolute mourning. Here is the breakdown of the very sad news that has changed the landscape of the show forever. 1. The death of Bridge, Brooke and Ridge's final fall. For decades, Brooke Logan and Ridge Forrester have been the North Star of the show. Destiny personified. The Bold and the Beautiful is not glamorous, not triumphant, and certainly not celebratory. Instead, it is heartbreaking, heavy, and drenched in regret. What began as a dazzling battle for dominance in the fashion world has spiraled into emotional devastation, leaving three beloved couples completely destroyed. The so-called fashion wars have claimed more than careers and collections. They have killed love, trust, and families. Fans are reeling as the fallout continues to spread through Los Angeles, leaving broken hearts in its wake. This is not just another storyline. This feels like an era-ending tragedy, a war that was never just about clothes. Fashion has always been the lifeblood of the Bold and the Beautiful. Rivalries, betrayals, and power struggles are stitched into the fabric of the show itself. But this time something changed. The competition turned ruthless. What once felt like creative tension became personal vendettas, and ambition transformed into obsession. Boardrooms became battlegrounds, lovers became enemies, and secrets, once whispered behind closed doors, were weaponized for professional gain. In the end, love didn't stand a chance. Couple number 1, Ridge and Brooke, the final unraveling of a legendary love. If there is one couple fans never believed could truly die, it was Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan. Their love has survived decades of affairs, betrayals, marriages, divorces, and reunions. Yet, shockingly, the fashion wars have done what nothing else could. They've ended Brooke and Ridge for good. How fashion tore them apart. Ridge's loyalty to Forrester Creations once again collided head-on with Brooke's belief in ethics, fairness, and transparency. As corporate lines hardened, Ridge became increasingly defensive, secretive, and dismissive. Brooke, watching Ridge align himself with ruthless strategies and morally questionable decisions, felt something she hadn't felt in years. Disgust. Their arguments were no longer about misunderstandings or outside interference. They were about who they had become. "I don't recognize you anymore," Brooke whispered during their final confrontation, a line that shattered fans worldwide. The sad truth. This breakup feels permanent because it isn't fueled by passion or jealousy. It's fueled by fundamental incompatibility. Brooke wants accountability. Ridge wants control. And fashion gave them the excuse to finally stop pretending love was enough. A legendary couple didn't explode. They quietly collapsed, which somehow feels even sadder. Couple number 2. Hope and Thomas. A love suffocated by ambition. Hope Logan and Thomas Forrester's relationship was already fragile, controversial, and emotionally complex. But despite the odds, they were trying. They were choosing honesty, healing, growth. Then came the fashion wars, the ultimate betrayal. Thomas became consumed with proving himself, not just as a designer, but as a Forrester worthy of dominance. In doing so, he crossed lines he promised Hope he never would again. Manipulation resurfaced. Secrets returned. Control crept back in. Hope saw it immediately. What hurt most wasn't just the deception. It was the realization that Thomas chose victory over her. Hope's breaking point. Hope, who has spent her entire life believing in second chances, finally reached her limit. "I won't lose myself trying to save you," she said through tears. That sentence marked the death of their relationship. This wasn't a dramatic breakup. No screaming, no slaps, just quiet devastation as Hope walked away, knowing love could not survive where ambition ruled unchecked. For fans who believed Thomas had truly changed, this loss is particularly painful. It suggests a tragic truth. Some patterns don't break, they resurface under pressure. Couple number 3. Steffi and Finn, power versus peace. Perhaps the most shocking casualty of the fashion wars is Steffi Forrester and John Finn Finnegan. A couple built on stability, trust, and mutual respect, they were considered unbreakable. Until fashion demanded loyalty. When worlds collide, Steffi lives and breathes Forrester Creations. It's her legacy, her identity, and her battlefield. As the fashion wars escalated, she hardened, emotionally and strategically. Finn watched the woman he loved transform into someone constantly on edge, guarded and consumed by conflict. The gentle doctor who believed in peace found himself married to a general at war. The moment everything changed, Finn begged Steffi to step back, to choose family over business, to let the war go. She couldn't. "If I don't fight, I lose everything," Steffi said. But Finn already felt he had. The heartbreaking truth is that no betrayal occurred. No affair. No villain. Just two people whose priorities no longer aligned. Sometimes love dies not from hate, but from exhaustion. The emotional toll on the entire canvas. These 3 breakups didn't happen in isolation. Their impact ripples outward, affecting everyone connected to them. Children caught between parents choosing power over peace. Families fractured by corporate loyalty. Friendships strained by sides being chosen. The fashion wars have turned allies into adversaries and transformed Forrester Creations from a dream factory into a pressure cooker of pain. Even longtime characters are questioning whether the cost of winning is simply too high. Fans are heartbroken and angry. Social media is flooded with grief, disbelief, and outrage. This doesn't feel entertaining, it feels tragic. Fashion shouldn't destroy love like this. Why does ambition always win on this show? Many fans are mourning not just couples, but hope itself. The belief that love can survive in a world driven by power. Yet others argue this storyline is brutally honest. Because sometimes in real life, career obsession does destroy relationships. Is there any hope left? Right now, the canvas feels darker than ever. Love lies in ruins. Trust is shattered. And the fashion wars show no signs of ending. But the bold and the beautiful has always thrived on redemption, reconciliation, and unexpected second chances. Still, this time feels different. These breakups weren't impulsive. They weren't misunderstandings. They were choices, and choices leave scars. Final thoughts. Fashion won, love lost. Today's very sad news confirms what fans feared most. The fashion wars have claimed 3 iconic couples, leaving behind heartbreak, regret, and emotional wreckage. Ridge and Brooke's legendary romance has faded into quiet sorrow. Hope and Thomas's fragile love was crushed under ambition. Steffi and Finn's peaceful marriage couldn't survive constant conflict. Fashion won. Power triumphed. Love paid the price. Fashion shouldn't destroy love like this. Why does ambition always win on this show? Many fans are mourning not just couples, but hope itself. The belief that love can survive in a world driven by power. Yet others argue this storyline is brutally honest. Because sometimes in real life, career obsession does destroy relationships. Is there any hope left? Right now, the canvas feels darker than ever. Love lies in ruins. Trust is shattered. And the fashion wars show no signs of ending. But the bold and the beautiful has always thrived on redemption, reconciliation, and unexpected second chances. Still, this time feels different. These breakups weren't impulsive. They weren't misunderstandings. They were choices, and choices leave scars. Final thoughts. Fashion won, love lost. Today's very sad news confirms what fans feared most. The fashion wars have claimed 3 iconic news from the bold and the beautiful is nothing short of devastating. What began as a glamorous, high-stakes fashion war at Forrester Creations has spiraled into a tragedy that has shattered hearts across Los Angeles and beyond. In a cruel twist of fate that only this iconic soap can deliver, ambition, betrayal, and long-simmering rivalries have collided, destroying not just careers but love itself. 3 beloved couples have been torn apart, their relationships left lifeless in the rubble of a fashion empire at war. This is not just another rivalry. This is a bloodless battlefield where dreams died, vows were broken, and love became collateral damage. A fashion war turned fatal. For weeks, tensions inside Forrester Creations had been building to a boiling point. Power struggles over creative control, explosive secrets, and dangerous alliances transformed boardrooms into war rooms. The runway became a battleground. Every sketch felt like a weapon. Every collection launch carried the weight of revenge. What no one anticipated was the emotional death toll. By the end of today's heartbreaking developments, 3 couples, once seen as pillars of hope and romance, have been effectively killed by the fashion war. Their bonds, once strong enough to weather family feuds and corporate chaos, finally buckled under the relentless pressure. Couple 1, Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan. A love finally broken. Perhaps the most painful loss of all is the apparent final collapse of Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan. Their love story has survived decades of betrayal, rival romances, and impossible choices. Fans believed, hoped, that nothing could truly destroy Bridge. But today, fashion did what infidelity and fate could not. Ridge's ruthless obsession with protecting Forrester Creations consumed him. As the fashion war escalated, he became colder, more controlling, and increasingly dismissive of Brooke's voice. Brooke, once his greatest supporter, found herself pushed aside, her instincts ignored as Ridge clung desperately to power. The final blow came during a brutal boardroom showdown. Ridge chose the company, again, over Brooke, publicly undermining her and questioning her loyalty. Brooke's heartbreak was written all over her face as she realized the painful truth. She would always come second to fashion. Today, Brooke walked away in tears, her wedding ring left behind like a tombstone marking the end of a legendary love. Fans are calling it the death of an era. Couple 2. Steffy Forrester and Finn. Love crushed under ambition. If Ridge and Brooke's collapse was tragic, Steffy Forrester and Dr. John Finnegan's downfall was absolutely brutal. Steffy has always been a warrior, strong, decisive, and fiercely loyal to her family. But the fashion war demanded more than loyalty. It demanded sacrifice. And tragically, Finn was the one she sacrificed. As tensions rose, Steffy became increasingly ruthless, making secret deals and questionable alliances to protect her position. Finn, already uneasy about the toxic environment surrounding the Forresters, begged Steffy to step back, for their family, for their children, for their future. She didn't. Instead, Steffy shut him out, insisting that he wouldn't understand. The emotional distance grew wider with every confrontation, until Finn finally realized the horrifying truth. The woman he loved was disappearing into the war. Today's devastating scene showed Finn quietly packing his things while Steffy stood frozen, unable or unwilling to stop him. No screaming, no dramatic threats, just silent heartbreak. Their love didn't explode. It suffocated. Couple 3. Hope Logan and Thomas Forrester. A dream reduced to ashes. Once seen as an impossible yet intoxicating love story, Hope Logan and Thomas Forrester's relationship has officially been declared another casualty of the fashion war. For a moment, fans believed Hope and Thomas had defied destiny. Against all odds, they found common ground, healing old wounds and daring to imagine a future together. But fashion and family loyalty proved deadlier than any past mistake. As the rivalry between Hope for the future and the core Forrester line intensified, Thomas was forced to choose sides. Though he claimed to support Hope, his actions told a different story. Secret meetings, withheld information, decisions that benefited the Forresters at Hope's expense. Hope felt the betrayal deep in her soul. Today's confrontation between Hope and Thomas was raw, painful, and unforgettable. Hope accused Thomas of using love as a weapon, of pretending to change while still serving the same destructive agenda. Thomas, torn between remorse and pride, couldn't deny it. When Hope walked away, she didn't look back. The dream they built together collapsed like a house of cards, leaving nothing but ashes where love once lived. 3 couples, 1 war, total destruction. What makes today's news especially heartbreaking is the realization that none of these couples fell because of a lack of love. They fell because love wasn't enough. Fashion, the very heartbeat of the bold and the beautiful, became a merciless force, demanding loyalty at any cost. Careers were saved, empires defended, but 3 relationships paid the ultimate price. Ridge lost Brooke. Steffy lost Finn. Hope lost Thomas. Each breakup echoed the same haunting theme. When ambition rules, love dies. Fans are devastated. Social media erupted within minutes of today's episode airing. Fans described the storyline as emotionally brutal, heart-shattering, and one of the darkest chapters in B&B history. Many viewers admitted they were left in tears, watching characters choose power over partnership, only to realize too late what they'd lost. Some are even questioning whether Forrester Creations is cursed, leaving nothing but broken hearts in its wake. What comes next after so much loss? With 3 couples destroyed, the future of the bold and the beautiful feels darker and more uncertain than ever. Will Brooke find the strength to rebuild her life without Ridge? Can Steffy live with the cost of her ambition when she finally stands alone? Is Thomas truly capable of change now that Hope is gone for good? Or is this only the beginning? One thing is clear, the fashion war may have crowned winners in the boardroom, but on the battlefield of love, everyone lost. Final thoughts. A day of mourning in Los Angeles. Today's very sad news marks a turning point for the bold and the beautiful. The glamour remains. The power struggles continue. But the emotional scars left behind by this fashion war will haunt these characters for a long time. 3 couples are gone. 3 love stories are dead. Fans are devastated. Social media erupted within minutes of today's episode airing. Fans described the storyline as emotionally brutal, heart-shattering, and one of the darkest chapters in B&B history. Many viewers admitted they were left in tears, watching characters choose power over partnership, only to realize too late what they'd lost. Some are even questioning whether Forrester Creations is cursed, leaving nothing but broken hearts in its wake. What comes next after so much loss? With 3 couples destroyed, the future of the bold and the beautiful feels darker and more uncertain than ever. Will Brooke find the strength to rebuild her life without Ridge? Can Steffi live with the cost of her ambition when she finally stands alone? Is Thomas truly capable of change now that hope is gone for good? Or is this only the beginning? One thing is clear: the fashion war may have crowned winners.